Hi everybody, I'm John Rivera and I am with Greg Foss, and if you are a real estate agent, real estate investor, or even have a passion for real estate, you're going to want to stay tuned for the Learn and Grow series with Greg Foss. Greg, in preparing for today, I had opened up this up to questioning to people that might have wanted to ask you some questions, so I want to take the opportunity right now to do that. At Cindy22 wanted to know, when is the right time to refinance?
Very good question. I would hesitate to give a broad answer to that because it depends on what the needs and why you're refinancing. If your interest rate is high, and interest rates are low now, they're very low now, they're sub 4. A great time to refinance if you have a high interest rate, but I would get somebody to sit down and analyze for you the cost of that refinance and how long you're going to stay in that house. I'm a big believer in leverage. I'm not leverage adverse, except when it comes to your home, and it's not a bad thing to have a nice nest egg in your home. So if you can refinance, keep your payments the same, and just pay it off quicker, that would be one reason to finance. But it's too individual a question to me. I don't know what the needs are.
Okay.
If you've got some huge expense, that very high interest rate credit card you want to pay off at 18%, and you can borrow money at 5 on your house, makes a wise decision.
At Colin27 wants to know, he's always hearing about the type of market this is. So he wants to know, is this a renter's market or is this a buyer's market in 2019?
I'd like you to ask me a different question. How's the market?
Okay. Colin, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but we're going to ask it a different way. Greg, how is the market, how would you describe the market going into 2020?
Of all the questions I get, that is the most common question. And the proper answer is a probe to find out more about why you're asking the question. Are you asking about a renter's market? Are you a renter? Are you a buyer, or are you a seller? And real estate is hyper-local. I mean, what's going on one side of the block and what's going on the other side of the block could be two totally different things. As an example, they're building a hotel downtown. The offices and restaurants and bars that were facing the hotel had a really lousy market the last 2 years because they're doing nothing but construction, right? That's going to be super hot once that hotel opens. So I look at it as an opening to a discussion about real estate. In my entire career in life, there's nothing like the present. As you know, John, I'm more of a ready, fire, aim kind of guy, but there's no time like the present. I like to say that you can't steer unless you're moving. And I remember my driver's ed coach, Ed Kohler, my driver's ed instructor, he was a coach actually, Ed Kohler. He said, whatever you do in a car, don't turn that steering wheel unless the car is rolling, because you're not doing anything. You're pointing in a direction, but you're not going there. And I think it's important to move. So to move forward, to go forward. And as long as you're not jumping off a cliff, and maybe making the biggest investment of your life could be to you, you have to weigh your own risk tolerance, but I would say that now is the best time.
Greg, this is kind of a broad question, so I don't know any other way to ask it with specificity. So I'll just say, what is the future of real estate as it in Southwest Florida?
Now you restrained me to Southwest Florida. I don't have a crystal ball. What I'm preparing for as the future is being able to buy a house online. And you might go, holy mackerel, that's not going to happen. Well, it's already happening. Elon Musk is selling cars online. There are some builders, production builders, that have fine-tuned that. What is the future of real estate in Southwest Florida really has a great part to do with the baby boomers and the amount of people that are now retiring into Southwest Florida, actually all of Florida. I have recently read an article that there is going to be a silver tsunami when these people that are moving down here downsize again or move into retirement homes or pass away. So if we go out further, and what's the future in Southwest Florida, we're going to have an availability of homes that we have not had in a long time, and it's probably not going to be for 10, 15 years. But I'm a big one on new is better right now, and if you, and I do a lot of anecdotal data gathering, and this isn't scientific, but I do what I call run the traps. And I'll go out to the sales centers and talk to on-site salespeople for production, or not just production builders, for builders. How's business? How's traffic? What's happening with prices? And one measure is how much inventory do you have now? You know, if they're selling 6 months out, you know, business is pretty good. And the future of real estate in Southwest Florida, new homes plays a huge part of it. And I mentioned in an earlier question functional obsolescence, and I'd like to address that real briefly. A home that has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths and a kitchen and closets and it works is not certainly an obsolete home. But there are features that make it functionally obsolete. Energy efficiency being a huge one, hurricane resistance being another one. And then what are some of the trends you talked about earlier that people want in a home? I don't mind having a small home, but I still, when I walk in, I want to be able to put my shirt on in my closet. You know, long arms. So if I can stand in my closet, but I'm sure it's a decent sized closet. I want to walk in pantry. I want a garage that I can at least fit my car in and not be knocking the side of the car. We can still downsize. The people that have used homes are treating that. Some people are treating their home like a car. When it wears out, they're going to sell it. Big mistake in hot areas like in Fort Myers. I'll talk about McGregor Boulevard. If you're not maintaining your home, you're throwing money away. You know, you should have a plan in your home that I'm going to spend, I don't know what the number is, $2,000 a year on maintaining my home. You know, perhaps for another time we'll talk a little bit about the difference between an HOA and a condo association and private ownership, because I have lots of thoughts about that. But if I had any advice for a homeowner today of an older home, spend money in your homes, maintain your home, try to avoid this functional obsolescence. That's very easy to do. All right, you know, I'm tired of this home, it's worn out, let's move. Well, and they still expect to get a premium for their home. It's not going to happen because they're competing with these new homes that are smartly designed, energy efficient, open space plans that still give the couple or family the bells and whistles they want in a home. Hi, this is Greg Foe. So if you have a passion for real estate, you want to learn, you want to grow, stay tuned and watch more of these videos, and do me a favor and click like in the link below. I always love comments from my viewers. If you've got questions or you want to set up a meeting with me, or better yet, you want to become part of the Foe Real Estate team, message me.